By the small river, we happened to come across a very distinctive dog mom. And to our surprise, there were a few adorable puppies quietly staying by her side. The puppies were all huddled closely together, sleeping peacefully on a bed of dry grass. It was one of those moments you can't help but watch a little longer, and it gently softens your heart. Meanwhile, the dog mom stayed quietly nearby. She carried herself in a calm, unhurried way, as if guarding their own little world. She seemed to notice us as well, but didn't show much reaction, just gave me a brief, quiet glance. She didn't come closer, nor did she make any sound. No tail wagging, no barking, barely showing any emotion, which made her seem a little distant. But it was exactly that sense of distance that made the moment feel especially quiet and warm. It felt cozy and peaceful here, surrounded by sunlight and grass. The puppies slept soundly, while their mom watched over them. Everything felt simple and real, and it naturally made you slow down. I happened to have some beef jerky with me, so I slowly reached out my hand. Without stepping closer, without making any sound, just holding it out quietly. She noticed the small movement, looked at me, then at the beef jerky, but didn't react right away. For a few seconds, everything felt still. Even the surrounding sounds seemed to fade. Unexpectedly, she didn't take the food. Instead, she stepped a little closer and gently brushed against me. Her movement was soft and restrained. Then she slowly returned to where she was. In that moment, more than whether she accepted the food, that brief, natural closeness felt more meaningful. In her own way, it felt like she was saying, I see you, but we each keep our space. Maybe for her, a first meeting doesn't need much interaction, just a little distance can feel more comfortable. The next day, when I passed by again, just walking past the same place, I had prepared another small treat for her. Even before I got close, she had already noticed me. Compared to yesterday, she seemed much more relaxed. The dog mom no longer watched me so closely. She simply stayed in her own rhythm, quietly busy. As for the little ones, they were resting peacefully beside their mom. Some were curled up tightly, fast asleep, their tiny bellies rising and falling with each breath. Others stayed close to their mom, nursing. A bit clumsy, yet completely focused. The whole scene felt quiet and warm. Sunlight gently spread across the grass. The puppies nestled together. That simple, genuine sense of togetherness made it hard to look away. Sometimes, it's these ordinary moments that feel the most relaxing and quietly touch you the most. Today, when I offered her a small treat again, she took it without hesitation. The way she accepted it felt so sincere and endearing. It was both surprising and heartwarming. It felt like she had started to see me as a friend. Who would have thought this kind, distant mom could be so quietly understanding? At that moment, I couldn't help but think, if this little family could always stay like this nearby. That simple, warm picture would be hard not to feel attached to. I just paused, quietly off to the side, not disturbing their natural rhythm. The dog mom occasionally looked over, her expression calm, without avoidance. It felt more like a quiet acceptance. The change was subtle, yet it carried a silent response. Her gradual ease, allowing each other's presence, already felt like an answer. The puppies stayed quietly in the little basket, huddled together, sleeping soundly, as if fully immersed in their own tiny world. I slowly stood up and started walking back. After a few steps, I turned around. To my surprise, she followed me. Just like that, one person and one dog, walking one behind the other. In the soft light of the evening, there were no extra sounds, yet somehow, it quietly became a new beginning. And just like that, we slowly made our way home. I tidied up a small bed that had been sitting unused, lined it with a soft blanket, wondering if she would like it. Meanwhile, the puppies were still fast asleep. They were sleeping so soundly. The whole scene was unbelievably adorable. The dog mom slowly stopped in front of the little bed. It seemed she was already starting to adjust to this new place. What surprised me was how much gentler she seemed than before. Before long, she began interacting with me in a calm, friendly way. That natural sense of closeness she showed was really unforgettable. Watching her rest there so quietly, and then looking at the little ones already fast asleep. This way of being together felt simple and comforting. Before long, the puppy settled down quietly on the soft little bed. The little ones cuddled tightly together. Some stayed close to their mom, nursing eagerly. Their tiny bellies gently rose and fell with each breath. The whole scene felt warm and soothing. Meanwhile, the dog mom lay quietly on her side, keeping a steady, relaxed posture the whole time. By then, the dog mom's dinner was ready too. I gently placed her dinner in front of her. She ate gracefully and calmly, and the puppies drifted off happily in her embrace. Looking at this sweet little family, I couldn't help but think. Sometimes, the simplest kind of companionship is already enough to make you feel grounded and content. Maybe in the days ahead, a different kind of warmth would slowly become part of life. After the dog mom finished eating, she didn't rest for very long. Soon, she was back beside the little ones again. She slowly lay down on her side and adjusted her position. Every movement was natural and steady, as if she was already used to this rhythm. One by one, the adorable puppies began to stir. Some of them still had their eyes closed, yet instinctively moved closer to their mom. Some gently pulled their way forward, scooting ahead little by little in their clumsy way. Before long, the little ones had gathered into a bundle, pressed closely together, their tiny heads nudging against one another, searching for the most comfortable spot. Their movements were still a little uncoordinated. Sometimes they accidentally bumped into each other or stepped on the sibling's tiny belly. But they quickly adjusted again and went right back to nursing with full focus. At that moment, time seemed to slow down. The puppies leaned in, nursed, and gradually settled down. Some had already drifted back to sleep. Some of them were still gently moving. 那心扑 repeating scene felt incredibly soothing. Before long, a week quietly passed. Those tiny little figures from before had already begun to change noticeably. They were no longer just curled up in silence, but had started to slowly open their eyes. Even though their vision was still a bit blurry, their gaze carried a soft sense of curiosity. They were already becoming interested in the world around them. Some of them would slowly lift their heads, looking at me gently, curious about this two-legged presence. Their movements were still a bit unsteady, their little heads wobbling side to side, as if trying to adjust to a world that was becoming clearer. Others would stumble forward a few steps, even though they couldn't walk steadily yet. They couldn't help but move closer to everything around them. Watching them now, it's hard not to think back to when we first met them. Back then, they were just tiny little lives, barely noticeable. Small, quiet bundles pressed closely together, their eyes tightly shut. Even turning over seemed like a bit of effort. Most of the time, they simply stayed close for warmth, and now, everything was slowly changing. They began to try lifting their heads, turning, moving closer, even reacting slightly to sounds around them. Though their movements were still clumsy, and their steps still unsteady, that growing sense of liveliness made the whole scene feel different. From quiet stillness in the beginning to gentle exploration now. The change wasn't dramatic, but it was happening little by little, and it's exactly this kind of change that makes you want to keep watching them again and again. As if every tiny movement carries the mark of time, even though they're still so small now. They've already begun to follow their own rhythm of growing up. The most relaxing moment of the day is probably just sitting quietly with these little ones. Sunlight falls softly onto their little bed. The air feels calm and gentle. And before you know it, they gather around. I simply open my hand, with a few small treats resting in my palm. Before I could even make a move, the puppies had already gathered around. Their steps were still a little unsteady, tiny paws wobbling gently on the ground, yet it didn't slow down their eagerness at all. Some stopped right beside my hand, sniffing carefully to recognize the scent. Only then did they start eating, slowly and cautiously. Others didn't hesitate at all. They simply leaned in and pressed their little mouths against my palm. Soon, their soft, tiny tongues gently touched my hand, licking again and again. Their movements were light, yet full of focus. The sensation was subtle, but very real. Just the way they quietly approached and gently connected. Everything felt simple and natural, and already deeply comforting. In the blink of an eye, 2 weeks had passed. With these little ones around, time seemed to move even faster. One day, something new appeared at home. A soft little sofa, just the right size, placed exactly where they liked to stay. Not long after setting it down, the puppies gathered around. One by one, they slowly nestled into it. That relaxed feeling was comforting just to watch. The small sofa somehow held all their liveliness and quiet moments. Watching them rest there so naturally, you can't help but feel like this place was always meant for them. Sometimes, what feels right isn't something extraordinary. It's simply a place where they can feel at ease.